I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Good morning! Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley. Welcome in. We'll get to it. Lots to do. Phillies back. Last night, bad sports night. Nothing really happened. Phil's back in Toronto tonight, and they're back in action. Wait for the Cup tomorrow. NBA Finals Thursday. So that's kind of the schedule. But the OTAs are back, and one of the things that I'm just loving every piece of it, every day something fun is happening with the Eagles. And then yesterday, of course, was the cover of Madden. And Saquon is the cover on the Madden game, right? Madden 2026. How freaking cool is this whole thing? I know that people will talk about the curse. I'm sure Andrew will and the whole thing. I don't care about that. I don't believe in that stuff. But all I know is Eagles are everywhere. Everywhere I look, it's all about the Eagles. Like, everything's Eagles. It's the greatest. This has to be the greatest year ever. The way they won the Super Bowl, right? How dominant they were. They were the best. I still contend that they were the best team of the aughts. If you think about the 2000s, I think this team was probably the most dominant team of the 2000s of this century. Certainly they're a top three. I mean, they were that dominant. In fact, I heard some imbecile talking about they weren't top five. They're not top five because they were an underdog heading into the game, into the Super Bowl, which is completely stupid and inane. But whatever. They were a dominant force. And it just, every day is like something else happens. Like the Eagles. Everybody's talking about the Eagles. They're just the center of the football universe. This is the greatest season, and then off season leading up to when we defend the title beginning that Thursday, which is 95 days away. 95 days. Am I right on that countdown, Andrew? Is it 95, I believe?
95, yes.
95 days away. So this whole thing is just a blast. And here it is, Saquon on the cover. Or Staquan, because I just saw it. I didn't even see it yesterday. Anthony got in at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I was running around all day. We had our exciting mics. There was so much to do yesterday. And then Saquon, Geno Steaks became Staquon Steaks. Staquon Steaks, right? The cover of Madden, like he did a whole thing. Like the side of Geno Steaks looks like Times Square. Like that whole big billboard. So cool, man. We're the center of the universe. How does it feel, VG, to be center of the universe?
Lord us. Give us our flowers. I love it, dude. What are you talking about? This is amazing. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Well-deserved. It's about time. All hail the Eagles. Give them their due, and us as a city our due as Eagles fans. We deserve it. I want it all. Can't get enough. Give me covers. Give me it all.
I mean, I love this.
Yeah.
I absolutely
We're the darlings.
love this.
And they don't even love us being the darlings. The league kind of hates us.
I know. I mean, we were the center of the tush-push thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the salary cap.
Yeah.
Like everything comes up Eagles.
Eagles,
And
Eagles,
now we
Eagles.
procure the cover
Yes.
of Madden.
Do it.
Look at how, that's awesome.
Geno Steaks crazy.
That's awesome.
Look at him at the top of it, jumping over a
Jumping it.
cheesesteak.
Like,
That's
that is
awesome, dude.
outrageous. That is outrageous.
Yeah.
Was it their
EA
idea? It was
Sports-
Nike's.
I don't know. I guess it's EA Sports.
Yeah, it's for the commercial that they're going to shoot that comes with the game. So I guess this is a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
They could be anywhere in the country, and they're here. Let's do
That
it.
is awesome. By the way, how raggy is Gino Vento? I mean, my God. I know Gino. God bless.
Oh,
That
yeah.
publicity,
Oh.
you make out.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see how they pick
I
that.
haven't had a Gino Steaks in, man, got to be years now.
Maybe we should make it. Maybe we get some up here. I haven't had Geno's or Pat's in probably over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to get it, they call it a Willie, right? A taste. I used to get it every once in a while. I get a
What's
taste.
a woolly?
Willie, yeah. And I don't know. I think it's a dialect thing.
Okay.
But I used to get a taste for like a Geno's or a Pat's.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, I go for, I'd stop. I'd go like, when I was living in the town, he'd stop. And this is pre-cheesesteak wars, right?
Yes.
Pre-cheesesteak gourmet steaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't there a big thing like the whole like the whiz? Like they mostly do the whiz, right?
Oh, you get anything. But I did it years ago. I did a few times. I did charity events at Geno's where I made steaks.
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
And I put the whiz on with the paintbrush.
Yeah.
You get the paintbrush.
That'd be cool to see you doing that.
Yeah, chop them up. I
Yeah.
was making at the grill. Then I was on whiz duty.
I think Saquon was doing that yesterday. I think I see videos.
He
of him
was
doing
there
Yeah,
it
it's a
yesterday.
whole thing. It's like a whole thing.
Mhm.
No, you're right. Like that was the original. Like that was the original steak.
Yeah.
The whiz. Now, I still think that's a good steak. A tasty steak. Now, it's not like Angelo's or Joey's, like
Yeah.
Skinny Joey's. Like those steaks are delicious. The Judge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Jay
judge.
steaks.
But that's a good steak. Like Phillips is. I like Phillips every once in a
Yeah.
while. I get a taste for them.
I mean, I do it once a year because I don't do a lot of beef, but like I live a couple blocks from gyms. So
Right.
Same kind of deal.
Well, which by the way, I still haven't been back since they reopened.
Oh, no. Expanded a little bit.
I gotta go. I gotta do that. That was another one that was out. I would get a taste for every once in a while.
Yeah, it depends on where you're hanging and partying
Like
in
you
the
would
city.
you would get a taste for it. Like I haven't had gyms in a while. I'm just saying, like I would rotate. Like I never understood. I need to go to one joint. Like
Yeah.
every steak was different. Growing up, like we had a luncheonette steak.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a place on 18th and Shunk called Pete and Joe's.
I like those little luncheonette places.
Yeah. There was another one called Millie's
Okay.
on 15th and Porter. And it was like the steak would come in a basket. You know, the red basket?
Yeah, love that.
With the cellophane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
The steak, like I would get a pizza steak. Like they were big on a pizza steak.
Mm-hmm.
The luncheonette pizza steak.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. Like I go to Joe's.
You know, still got that
Pete
vibe.
Jones.
It's not a luncheonette place, but Cosby's has that luncheonette kind of vibe. When you go
yo,
in there, it feels
yo,
like that.
I love Mike. I mean, it's my man.
No, it
right?
feels like that when you go
Cosby,
in there.
That's a good steak.
Yeah, that's it. They do a lot of good sandwiches.
Like he
there.
is a throwback.
Yeah.
He is a throwback. You know, Mikey is Sec is a throwback steak.
Mm-hmm.
Like a cool luncheonette. That's a great call by you.
They got good staff. It's like old school, like it's just dudes that you roll in. It's like, I don't know, you feel
It's
like
a great steak. And it's a tasty, like all their food's tasty.
yeah.
Like he makes it.
They do a lot of vegetarian stuff. That's why I'm in there because the
Oh, yeah?
the pagan, yeah, they got a lot of veggies.
But you know, it's so interesting, right? Like, because we're looking at the Saquon thing, and it's, it's the steak. Like, people would never understand. Like, they go, "Oh, I got a real Philly cheesesteak." Well, there's a list of a dozen places, right? Like, you could actually go to.
Yeah, you can go to almost any neighborhood and find some place you've never heard of making a good
Or
cheesesteak.
just that, and there's a dozen of this is an everyday steak.
Yeah.
But they all taste different.
Oh,
There's
totally
like a
different.
who's got chopped meat. Like you mentioned, like we're talking about Geno's and Pat's. They weren't chopped.
Mm-mm. And I'm curious, like, I guess, I don't think they went with, like, taste better. Maybe they did, but it's just, I think the setup of Geno's, the way
No. It's
you have
like
all
times-
that window space and stuff. It's like,
It wasn't about the taste. It was about
well,
the
it looks
look.
better. Yeah.
First of all, it's on a corner, like it's on a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So because you have the triangle,
Well, Pat's is a triangle, too. It's just smaller.
Geno's is grander. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. It's got the grand.
They got the big windows you can see in if Saquon's behind there.
It's got the grand. This is it, right? Like, look at it,
Mhm.
right? And it reminds me, it's almost our Times Square.
Yeah, and I love that it's our Times Square. There's Geno's and Pat's, and half a block up the street is Ray's Happy Birthday Bar. Where I
Yeah,
think you can
true.
still smoke it. No, you can't smoke it there anymore. But I love Ray's Happy Birthday Bar, like right half a block up the street.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. But it's got that, like, when you see
Our
the
Times Square.
it is. It's
Yeah.
our Times Square. Like, you can see the big
Oh,
advertising.
you see it from
Right.
blocks away as you're
Right,
walking
the
up to it or
light,
driving.
like, you know, I mean, the whole thing. Like, I'll never forget. This is pre, like, you know, like early actually leading up from the 90s into their 2000s, and then once you got 2000s, even more so. On a Friday, Saturday night,
Yeah.
Pat's and Geno's were packed
Mm-hmm.
all night long.
There's still, I mean, I walk past there a lot because I go down to Pass Yonk, and there's still a lot of people in line down there, all hours of the day,
Oh, they
especially if it's
used to-
before a game or
They
after a
used to
game.
go all the way around. I used to love. Every once in a while, I would do it because I knew the family, right?
Mhm.
Joey, and we would go. There was a table inside Geno's, so we were out. We used to go. You know, we would be out every night, right? Friday night, Saturday night, and we wanted a steak, so we would sit inside the joint.
All right. I
And
didn't even know you could.
yeah, and so I go, yo, we inside, and come on in it, and be like 3 a.m, right? And all my friends, we had they had a huge table,
Yeah.
and we'd sit there and grab steak, like, you know. And my cousin was like, Joey was like, oh, dude, you must actually are. I can't believe you got to sit here, like, you know.
Yeah.
That was like getting him in the
Like a
Taj Mahal.
chef's table or
Right,
something, or like a
exactly,
Michelin.
exactly.
Yeah.
Michelin star.
And like we talked about the booze mop the other day. There's very few booze mops that are as good after a night as the old cheesesteak. All the bread, the cheese, the grease.
Yeah,
So
it's strong. But let's
Top
get back.
tier.
Yeah, let's get back to this Eagles off season. Right? Could it be any better, boys? Like, seriously,
Nah,
like
they got rid of
we're
Huff.
like-
they got something back, and they saved
we're the
cap
center of the
space.
universe.
Dude.
Like, I don't know. I'm enjoying every aspect of this thing.
I mean, I'm a little disgruntled about the primetime schedule. I will say that. I think they got the shaft.
Well, I agree.
So yeah, the powers that be are.
They're-
We deserve better.
They don't want to see our time in the sun.
Yeah.
They don't want it to linger. Like honestly, the goal should be 3-peat because that's not been done,
Oh man.
right?
Oh man, you're
Like
you're not pumping the brakes at all.
No.
Pedal down to the full
He's
metal.
pumping the chest.
No,
Yeah.
the goal, because here's the thing. The only way to stick it in their gigi, like everybody, is to win 3 in a row.
I mean, I'm all in on that.
Starts with
man.
2 in a row. So, you know, listen,
Yeah.
if it ended at 2 in a row, I'd be happy, you know? But you get my point,
Yeah, I get the point.
right? Like 3 in a row. Like, I go back to what Howie said. He's right. When I was texting with Howie, and he was like, dude, can't make mistakes. Got to stack chips. Stacking the chips.
All right, let's see these dates. We got the next one is Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. And then they break the record. They 3-peat in SoFi, Los Angeles, Inglewood.
So the next 2 Super Bowls are Cali?
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I like both those locations.
Winning one at Levi would be real nice. Really throw the thorn at them, those 49ers fans. Watching
Yeah.
the Eagles win in
Sure.
their stadium. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
without a doubt. No, it means something.
That'd be tasty.
Yeah. Plus, LA would be great too because we own LA. There's a
do.
lot of Philadelphians anyway that, in LA.
Yeah. I'm okay. I love a good LA trip.
You know, like
Yeah.
that would be unbelievable. But this has just been a blast, and it's great that they're all sitting there wanting to be us, and they hate us.
Hate it. Bring the hate.
They
Bring
do.
the hate.
They-
We're good being
They
hated.
hate us. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. All the, you know, it's funny doing a national show. You know, I mean, the Eagles are a national story.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel bad bringing them up. Like, I used to feel bad,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
like I wasn't supposed to bring up the local teams. Like, when you're a national host, there's like 5 storylines, right? And it's always from a national standpoint. So you're looking at the news and whatever the national storyline is. And, every once in a while, I would bring up our teams in context. Almost relatable. Like, yo, guys, like the Sixers, one day the Sixers, oh, here we go. I'm going to add it myself.
We need a trigger alarm. Warning.
Dude, I know. He's talking Sixers. He's talking Sixers.
We need those. It's like warning.
They lost. It was after the Atlanta game when they lost on Father's Day, and I was doing my national show, and I was going, dude, like, listen, you guys can understand. Right now, I'm broken up. All right, I'm broken up, man. All right, like you guys don't understand. Like I'm like you guys can relate because you're sports fans, and you understand being broken up as a sports fan.
Oh yeah.
Did they care?
Yeah. No, because there's a bond among sports fans. It's like when the Lions, like there's a part of me that felt for Lions fans this year.
Ooh, big news out of Detroit too yesterday. Their center, all pro center. And I feel like Jalen Carter's just sending people into retirement. They don't want to face them.
Yeah, that's Frank Ragnall's a big
They already
deal.
had, I think it was they have guard question mark.
Oh, huge. Dude, there's no doubt in my mind. I really feel it. Who's touching them in the NFC?
No one.
I mean,
I saw it the Rams. I don't believe it. Is Stafford going to stay healthy the whole year?
Yeah, I do think that is there. I think that'll be the NFC Championship game.
Really?
I do.
I'm not
I do.
overly rammed up.
I'm not rammed up. I look at the landscape, and I think they're probably the best team. Their defense is really good. And
it's young. It's decent.
Yeah,
I mean, the Commanders will be there. Obviously they're going to be there again. Rams will probably.
They could take a step back. Washington.
I mean, there's going to be tape on him now, Jaden Daniels. Defenses are going to find out how to scheme him a little bit better. He's not going to be as magical as he was last year, but
I think they're going to take a step back almost not because of Daniels' phrase. I think they take a step back because they won a lot of games like in miracle fashion.
Yeah, they did.
It's true. Yeah, they did.
Like who remember the one guy taking selfies or whatever he was doing? Yeah.
Against the Bears, yeah.
That is the greatest.
Right. Like they win games like that. Like they're still good, don't get me wrong. But I look around the landscape and I go, who am I afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anyone.
Nobody in the East.
I mean, knock on wood.
Green Bay, like,
no, right. Minnesota. Like Rams.
Baldy's all Viking, though.
The Rams don't scare me.
Interesting. I got mad respect. That offense, I haven't looked to see what they're doing after Cooper Kupp, but I mean, the offense is good and the defense is a legit defense.
That good? I mean, it sounds like Connor Williams, but isn't that good? I mean, Puka, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, if he stays healthy, they're good. But
I mean,
he's a fragile man.
The fragile man is Stafford.
He's been pretty stable out there.
I don't know.
So their big upgrade was
You better
Devontae
protect him.
Adams.
Yeah, they got to protect them.
The Rams, they picked up Devontae Adams was a big upgrade to Cooper Kupp leaving.
Yeah, then
So,
definitely.
We'll see what he is,
But who is?
I mean, he's getting there in age.
Devontae?
Yeah.
Devontae.
Played on some crap teams.
I don't know, dude. All of a sudden, like, he's a name. Like, you got to show me, dude.
Well,
I'm out.
Hopefully, I don't want him to show us.
Oh, the rammed up.
Britton Covey?
They like to ram up. That people are got James Bond flyers, rambunctious. Hey, I got a behind the scenes of the because they had to take a picture. They had to recreate the Saquon jump,
right?
So they can put some stuff behind it, isolate a green screen it.
I wonder,
we got some video of the filming of the recreation.
I love it. So you're going to be able to do that in the game?
Yeah, I think you're able to do that. I don't know. You should hopefully just with him.
It should be just with him.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to do the move.
You could in the previous one, in previous Madden. They brought it in as like an update.
For anyone or just him?
I think just Saquon. You have to just allow him to have that.
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of interesting. There's a dude on a pulley, like lifting him up. He's got like a harness with wires attached to him. So he jumps, and then you can see dudes on the side.
Oh, that's
making
awesome.
him go up over the dude dressed as
That's cool, man. By the way, speaking of the chat, thanks to my man, Zach Leon, my boy. He said, dude, he goes, I'm playing catch up on the show. Fit Dad CEO's issue with us, he did not like Dallas being week 1.
Good memory.
That's a great memory.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Great memory.
Wow.
And that was a mistake. I remember going, what do you mean, Fit Dad? I did not want the Cowboys.
Yeah. Everyone wants the Cowboys. Hey, I want to go in before we get into guessing rolling. Let's look at these curses. Dividing curse or no curse for the last 10 covers.
Oh man.
So Frazier's upset over the cover.
Yeah. So here we go.
You're scaredy? You scaredy?
I'm a scaredy, yes, because there has been. I guess we'll go through the list.
These are
We'll
the
see if it's
past
true or
10
not.
player covers because I think John Madden was on 2023. Madden
No.
23.
Yeah, 23. Yeah, you're right.
So last year was McCaffrey. Not a great year. Played 4 games.
Right.
It hurt.
Madden 24, Josh Allen put up 44 touchdowns. Good year. He did have a career high 18 interceptions.
No curse.
Yeah. Madden 22, Mahomes, Brady.
Mahomes won the Super Bowl.
Did he? No, I don't think either went to the Super Bowl that year. My notes said neither went to the Super Bowl, but Brady had 43 touchdowns, highest in a decade. Madden 21.
When did he win the Super Bowl? 23 and 24?
That's Rams Bengals. That Super Bowl, right?
The next one's Lamar. He threw up 26 touchdowns, had 1,000 yards. Mediocre year, but not terrible. 20, Mahomes, first Super Bowl title on the cover. 19, Antonio Brown.
Well, he's a kook.
He had 1,000 yards, career best 15 touchdowns that year.
All right.
Madden 18 is Brady. Strong year, 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns. Madden 17, Gronk, injured.
And
Finished
also
the year on
losing the
IR.
Super Bowl, the team.
The team was, but he was not. 16, Odell, great year, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. Madden 15, Richard Sherman, 14 interceptions, first team All-Pro. So you got 2 injuries. You got 1 Super Bowl and 2 injuries in the last 10
Gronk
players.
and see, well, that should make you feel better.
It makes me feel better.
I mean,
Yeah.
so this curse thing is stupid.
Yeah.
It is stupid.
And McCaffrey's always injured. It's got nothing to do with the cover.
And the workload before that,
Class.
before his year. Come on. I mean, he's always. All
right, no curse.
There's no curse.
The curse is going.
This is our side. All right. Lots to get to today. Our buddy David Murphy, the great columnist, will join us. We love Murph. Brain, Baldy, and we got a real fun guest for you because I love the TNT show hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know the TNT basketball is unbelievable, right?
Great.
The TNT hockey is a sleeping giant. It's awesome.
Really good coverage.
And the producer's a local guy, Chris Jastrzembski.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good for a South Philly guy.
All right? Like, I mean, he is, he's done a great job, big producer. So we got Chris on the show to talk about it. Hockey, TNT, Stanley Cup coming up.
Yeah, tomorrow
I
night.
can't wait for that, actually. Looking
Oh.
forward to it. Later on, I'm going to show you when the break comes. There's a ticket. Somebody's got a ticket. He needs OKC and Edmonton to win it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll win $275,000
Wow.
off a $3 bet.
No. $3 bet.
Yeah, I'll
That's a
send it
good
to.
one.
I'll send it to the.
Darn.
I'll send it over.
Man, and he's
Yeah.
favored in both series.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good bet. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, let's talk about some of our friends and partners. Let's go to Cherry Hill Kia. That's right, Cherry Hill Kia, part of the Folk Auto Group. Yeah, baby. Charlie Folk and the Folk Auto Group. You know it's a great dealership. And, of course, Cherry Hill Kia is fantastic. That's my man, Bill. Bill has been there forever. He runs Cherry Hill Kia, one of the best people you ever want to meet. All right, he's going to take great care. So you're looking for a Kia, and I think you should be because it's America's hottest vehicle. Go see Bill. All right, he's going to put you in that Kia. He's going to give you a great deal, especially when you tell him I sent you. All right, you got Kia of CherryHill.com. 450 new Kias to choose from. 40 Tellurides, over 100 Sportages, over 35 Carnivals, over Carnivals, over 75 Celtos, over 80 Souls. You're a Soul man.
Love the Soul. Fun car.
What is it about the Soul you like?
Well, I like the Honda Element. I like the boxy. I don't know. I like the compact.
The car you got now
stuff.
is boxy.
Yeah.
You're a
I like the
boxy kind of fella. Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country for a reason. 700 models received 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards, which is amazing. Considering there were more than 450 models tested, only 20 models received this award, all right? Combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business, 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain, 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper to bumper. All right, stop in, tell Bill I sent you. He's going to get you a great deal, all right? I'm telling you. Plus, he'll give you a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive. We want to feed you, all right? Now, I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. Kia of cherryhill.com.
Let's talk about some floors and good flooring with Empire today.
Empire
today. Just like your favorite team, they need a home field advantage, court advantage, ice advantage. Your home needs a home floor advantage. And Empire today, they can help you get started and get that. Because to Empire today, they got flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Not like the big stores where you walk around and you can't find anyone working there. When you do, you're like, how'd they even get this job in flooring department? Because they don't seem like they have any handle on flooring or whatever department you're working at. It's because they jump around from department to department. They're not experts, and that's what makes Empire Flooring all the difference in the world, because Empire today lives and breathes flooring. They'll be with you every step of the way, so it's a whole new ballgame. Plus, their flooring experts bring the showroom to you. With their digital virtual designer, you pick out some flooring that you like. They take pictures of your room, match it up, and see if you like the way it looks. So there's no guessing. You get to figure it out. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And here's what's also cool. Empire today, they got clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing, and you can get installation as soon as the next day if your flooring is in stock, because nobody really likes to wait. So right now, schedule a free in-home estimate, because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners, you get a $350 discount just from using the promo code PHLY. That's right, $350 just for using the code PHLY. So check it out. A $350 discount is no joke. Restrictions do apply. Visit Empire today/PHLY for full details and get started on some upgrading your flooring with Empire today.
Today. All right, now let's go to my main man, New Dad. Great columnist. Let's get him up here. David Murphy from the Inquirer. He looks tired. He looks like he's had a night. He looks like the baby.
I look frozen.
What's up?
He's stressing out over the cover curse.
That's not. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We got you, but you're frozen.
Well, this is my new trick. I'm a ventriloquist now. I don't know
look
what's
at
going
his eyes. His eyes look heavy in the freeze picture.
They do.
I know it's not a very complimentary frozen picture from there.
Let me try to add you here. 1 second.
All right, try.
Yeah, do it.
Just
do our boy a favor, man.
I mean, he looked like, oh my God. He looked like the baby was up all night.
He was on a bender, one or the other.
Right. See, that's the kidless guy says you're on a bender.
Hey, maybe he had a babysitter.
Yeah. You can never get like that when you have kids.
No?
No, because your mind is still, especially a baby.
I know.
Like you can't.
I know some parents that get pretty banged up.
Well, I'm talking about good parents. I mean, your mind should not. Your mind's always kind of editing you, so you don't get too crazy.
All right, so you're still able to dial the phone and order an Uber if you need to get to the ER.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my! I was up 3. I had to pick up Anthony at the airport 3:00 in the morning.
God bless you.
PHL. Excuse me.
Was the flight delayed?
Yeah, it came in from Florida, so we saw storms and all kinds of stuff.
Man.
So it landed like 2:38, and then by the time you get off the plane, literally 3:00.
Did you stay up or did you go to bed?
I stayed up. There he is. We got him now.
Look at now. He looks all fresh.
No, he doesn't. He still looks like he hasn't slept.
I feel, you know what? Max is sleeping great. It's he's sleeping like 8 or 9 hours a night. It's awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm just I'm a very violent sleeper, so I never really sleep very well.
Violence.
You know, I mean,
what does that mean?
Yeah, like,
it means like I wake
night
up,
terrors,
you know,
scratching yourself.
no, I mean, like you know, my wife, she sleeps and like she sleeps in a very normal way where she's on her back and very motionless and pleasant looking and angelic. And then you look at my side of the bed and it's like a war is being fought with the covers. But I'm like, yeah, everything's twisted up. It's all, you know, I wake up and there's sweat everywhere and there's, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
tossing, turning, thrashing.
Yeah, I thrash.
Yeah.
I thrash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
So,
that. I'm like that too. I'm a thrasher.
Yeah, you're thrashing.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, and you know, when guys like us are carrying the weight of the world around, you know, sleep doesn't come easy, you know?
No. Like VG was like, oh, you know, he could have been banged up. I'm like, there's no way when you have a baby that you would allow yourself to get so banged up that you would be a mess. It doesn't compute. You have this thing inside you that won't let you get like that. Unless you're
Well, it's also it's just you can't afford to pay the ramifications the next day. You know, that's the biggest thing to me.
Exactly.
VG's got
I'll
dogs.
never. What's that?
I said VG's got dogs, so he's allowed to get banged up because he doesn't have an actual human.
Something happens. Stuff happens to dogs too. You know, I'm just make sure I can still call an Uber and get to the ER. Man.
Yeah.
So, so you're freaked out over the curse?
What curse?
Madden?
Oh, look, man. I'm freaked out that Saquon Barkley plays running back. You know, I mean, it's if he gets hurt, I don't know that we can blame a curse. It's just kind of what happens. You know. So no, I don't believe in curses. No.
I was wondering. I didn't think you were a curse believer.
No, I mean, I think most curses come, you know, like the Sports Illustrated curse, which was like a very weird and uncanny thing until you think about it. So put it this way, let's rewind. So I last week at this time I was writing a column about Jesus Luzardo and Zach Wheeler being the next Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee, and I'm sure you understand this as a veteran of the content management business. You know, the whole idea is to get the story at its peak, but don't wait too long, you know? And that was it was just veteran timing on my part where I wrote the story and then the next day Jesus Luzardo gave up 50 runs in, you know, 2 1/3 innings. And, you know, my buddies all texting me, they're like, oh man. I was like, dude, that's just
him.
Yeah, it is.
Better. No, it's not. It's the opposite. It's that performance doesn't last forever. And, you know, normally when things like the Madden cover and a Sports Illustrated cover or a front page story come out, it's gone on long enough where something inevitably is going to happen by the time that story comes out. So it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing. But yeah, I think, you know, look, if I'm the Eagles, I'm petrified every time Saquon Barkley touches the ball just because of how important he is. But yeah, I'm not scared of the curse. I think it's great. I think it's great keepsake, that cover.
It really is. Before we get to that real quick, because I'm with you. You had given me the great idea last week of kind of redoing the Sports Illustrated. So my buddy Gary Smith wrote 4 stories in 2011 on the Aces. He had a contract for 4 pieces for SI when SI was SI. And he wrote all 4 on the Aces. And they were fascinating. And
the Sal guy.
I felt like this rotation is underserved. Like it's underserved. It's in the shadows for how good it is. So I was about to reach out to the Phillies to pitch them this idea of me redoing this, what Gary did with this group. Mm-hmm. And then Luzardo gets blown up. I was like, I'll give it a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the game has changed so much. You know, it's like it's not even comparable. I mean, Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay both pitched 230 innings that year. You know, the guy we forget about is Vance Worley, who had, you know, he probably threw 180 innings with like a 2.5 ERA one of those years. But
You know what Vance is
yeah,
doing now?
I mean, what's that?
You know what Vance is doing now?
I can't even begin to guess.
Vance works with kids pitching. In fact,
Really?
Mike Mosmo plays for the Warriors program. It's a travel program, 12U. And Vance came in all off season once a week to work with the kids.
Oh, that's
Great.
awesome.
Awesome. Like, he's
Oh,
great
he's
with
great.
them. Yeah, dude, you would love him. In fact, when your little man gets old enough, I'll make sure he goes to Vance to learn pitching.
So does he have his own clinic there in Jersey
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Vance was always one of my favorites. He was a great dude and a fun guy to watch pitch too. Like not to get too far off track, he's almost the kind of guy that like they haven't had in a long time. The guy to just come. I guess Christopher Sanchez, you could maybe say,
Yeah.
but might be that guy. But a guy who just like, KK was like that for a year too, where you have this clear opening, and then all of a sudden this guy just stepped. Jay Happ did the same thing.
Jay Happ! That's a great one. Oh, dude, that's it's a bust out, Jay Happ.
Yeah.
Jay Happ.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Happ have a couple good years.
Yes, he
Lefty.
did.
Oh yeah. He actually had a really long career. In fact, he was in that Roy Oswalt trade, and he was like the only guy who panned out and did anything in that trade. I think it was like Anthony Gose and John Singleton.
Yes.
And then Jay Happ, and Jay Happ ended up being the one that actually pitched for 10 or 11 years.
Yes.
Yeah, baseball's funny, but no, I kind of the Saquon Barkley thing on a serious, like it is interesting with this. We were talking about this last week, about Jalen Hurts needing to throw more or not needing to throw more or whatnot. And I think the one thing you can look at with this Eagles team, because I'm with you, I think that there's nobody, in the NFC at least, that can come close to touching them, especially given kind of the changes in Detroit with Ragnow and Ben Johnson out of there. I just don't think there's anybody close to them. But the one thing you can say about this team that doesn't have a whole lot of flaws that you can't really nitpick a whole lot about is that if one of those two guys, if DeVonta Smith or AJ Brown get hurt, or if Saquon Barkley or AJ Brown get hurt, I mean, they have so much of their portfolio is so, it's not diverse at all. And if one of those guys goes down, that's the one thing you can say. And obviously injuries are a thing for every team. It's just the Eagles are structured in a way where I feel like, I would, off the top of my head, I'm just not sure there's two guys in the league that carry a greater weight for the success of the overall passing and rushing game than Saquon and AJ.
Now, dude, you're spot on. Spot on. It's funny. I did the same exercise in the NFC with VG, and I'm like, look around you. Who's really are you afraid of? I think Washington takes a little step back. Just seems natural. There's really no one in the South. I mean, Tampa, but, are they really that scary? You got the Rams we talked about. Okay, they're not exactly the boogeyman. And the Lions having trouble on their O-line, that's big because I thought the Lions O-line was the second best behind the Eagles in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's funny that we're not even mentioning San Francisco anymore.
They're done.
I tend to agree with you, but that's the only other team you could even really, throw out there. Now, look, like one of those teams at some point will emerge of that group. One of those teams will emerge to kind of be, the Detroit of last year.
Yeah. Could be Minnesota. Could be anybody.
But the bigger thing. Yeah, no. The bigger thing is how many teams just have no chance from day one. That's the bigger thing. It's like, Atlanta, New Orleans, New York. You can rattle them off where there's so many teams that are just dead in the water from day one that, and meanwhile, the Eagles are that much better than even the good teams. So, it's been the same story for 3 years now, really. They're just, with that offensive line, and you think about it, here's the other thing about the Ragnow thing, which is, it's fascinating to me when guys, retire that young. When you look at the Eagles and how much they've benefited from Lane playing until he's 34, 35, Fletcher playing until, same age, Jason Kelce playing until 36. This would be, Ragnar retiring would be the equivalent of Jason Kelce retiring in 2016, Wentz's first season. Like that's before any of the Super Bowls. It just totally kills an entire era of your team. And I think that's the impact it's going to have in Detroit. I mean, imagine what the Eagles are the last 10 years if one of those guys isn't playing as long as he has. Lane, Fletcher, BG, let's just limit to Lane, Kelce, and Fletcher. It's pretty insane, and it's. I don't know that there's any way the Eagles, you can go into a draft predicting that a guy's gonna play for the next 12 to 15 years. So I don't know if it's anything more than luck. I'm sure they would argue part of it is creating a good organization where guys want to play and stick around. But I mean, Lane's one of like 4 guys. Lane is the only guy in the top 25 of that 2013 draft that played last year. He's the only guy, and and he's still the most important player on the Eagles offense outside of AJ and Saquon.
Dude, you're so spot on. That Lane Johnson is, you want to talk about underappreciated?
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, not by Eagles fans at all, but like just in the grand scope. Like, listen, you got Saquon going up, right? Cover of Madden, the whole thing. Saquon is a chicken cutlet without Lane Johnson.
Well, and it's also, he was talking, I forget when it feels like recently, but I'm not sure the last time I actually talked to him. But at one point he was talking about how Lane, I'm talking about how him being like, he's played with all these different right guards, and he was essentially saying that, between him, Kelce, and I guess Jordan now, the long term, the fact that they've been there makes those other 2 positions so much easier to cycle guys into. You know what I'm saying? Like, last year Mekhi Becton comes in. Is he as good if he's not playing next to, Lane Johnson or Jordan or whichever side he was playing on? Even like Samuel coming in. I guess Warmack's not a great example, but what was the guy from the Super Bowl team? Former Jaguar. Wisniewski. They've had all these guys kind of come in and really level up for the year or 2 that they're here. And Lane Johnson is as big a reason, and Peters before that, obviously. But right now, Lane's part of the reason why these guys come in right away and have so much success. Stout's a huge part of it. But when you've got a guy there that can do the things that he does and cover the ground that he can cover with his lateral agility and his arms, but then also a guy who can kind of, take you into the fold and kind of tell you how it goes. It's invaluable.
You're spot on, man. Where do you line up on the whole Saquon thing? The fact that it's Barkley, the cover, and the Regino stakes.
In terms of, you think it should have been like Angelo's?
No, because VG and I were talking about it. Aesthetically, that's a great spot. It just is. Yeah. Like, it looks cool. It's a great piece of real estate in the city. It screams Philadelphia. It's just an iconic corner, right? So I love it. Yep. I'm talking more from this cheesesteak thing.
Well, I mean, I'm a of the kind of quintessential brands. I was always a Jim's guy.
No, I meant just utilizing the cheesesteak period.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic. It's great. It should be up. It should be on the wall of everybody's rec room. It's a great photo. And I actually, so I lived on 10th Street in South Philly there, where I could, I was a block away and could stick my head out my door and see the marquee there. So yeah, I mean, I've always thought it's one of the more underrated, iconic kind of corners of Philadelphia. I mean, when you walk through there, it just looks like a place that does not look like any other place.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think that it was whoever came up with the idea for it, just genius. Because like you could have put them by the Liberty Bell, or you could have put them, whatever. But it's that really is kind of it's one of my favorite blocks, favorite walks in Philadelphia is to walk through that that corner
Well,
there.
if you go from Broad Street, right, go past Shunk Avenue West, walk down past Shunk, right, which is a great walk in itself, and you'll see the fountain, right, and then you keep walking until you reach 9th Street, and then you turn down 9th Street and walk down 9th Street in the market. It's just great stuff.
It's awesome. And I got to throw a shout out to there's a little deli there called Vincenzo's Deli, which it doesn't get nearly the pub that obviously Patch and Gino's does, but that was actually my go-to. So if anyone's in that area, check him out. Assuming he's still in business. That was the best. I was at 9th and Tasker, and the pastry shop was right there. It was just the 2 years I lived in that area of the city were just like no other.
Well, so my grandfather used to have a bar on 12th and Tasker. It was called the 12T Bar. And I remember going in there when I was a little kid, like being real little. And I could still see it. And I remember they had these like Coke. They give you a glass of Coke in the bar, the long, thin tumbler. And it was dark. And I remember the Phillies being on. And like loving watching the Phillies drinking a Coke at this corner bar back in the day. But it was right there.
Dude, there was nothing like when you were a kid and that the first time you were allowed to sit at the bar and drink a soda that the bartender poured for you out of that gun. It was the best. Yeah, I mean, part of it was just the fact that you had no idea that there was just a gun that shot soda and that you could just keep on refilling your glass as much as you wanted. But part of it was just
it was. You're right. It was the greatest.
So maybe they get a little bag of chips off the tree, those little things they got with the clips.
You know what I never knew? I bet you guys didn't know this. That kids are not allowed to sit at the bar.
I know this now. Yes.
Right. I had no idea because in South Philly, all those corner joints, nobody can say anything. You break kids will be up on the bar, whatever. Right. There was a place I was just waiting the other day. I was waiting to get food in Jersey with Massimo. And I said, come on, Dad. While we wait, sit down. Have a Coke, I'll have a beer. And the lady was like, no, he's not allowed to sit at the bar.
Yeah.
I was like, really? He's not ordering shots.
No, you got to get those little corner. Like I used to go to Mike's bar with my uncle at 2nd and Westmoreland. Just like those cube opaque windows you can't even see through. It's all dim in there. They're the best.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those rules that doesn't need to be enforced, and it's more of a litmus test of the bartender.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. Now, if you watch the show, friend of the show, Todd's show with the Natalia Grace, who knows? It could be a 40-year-old. You don't know. It's a little kid. You think it's a little kid. Maybe it's a 40-year-old. Who knows?
You're not serving the kid, though. That's the point.
Yeah, and then the kid's like, yo, I'm 30. You're like, what?
He's just getting a Coke.
I know.
Oh,
Could be confusing.
Who cares? we're you know what's funny? Like that, I agree with you. I love that part of the city, though. I mean, that shot is iconic. It's got such a cool thing that's the cover of Madden. How great is that? Like this is the greatest off season in Philadelphia history.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, who is the last star that has really gone national the way Saquon has? I mean, Wentz never got to that point. Hurts really had. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hurts had a run, but he's not. He was never. I don't think he was never on the cover of Madden.
Was McNabb on the cover?
Yes,
2006,
20 years ago. Yeah, but he was.
Yeah, but
McNabb was
Saquon,
big, but he was never Barkley facing the game big.
No. I mean that right. That says it all right there. I mean, it's just an iconic moment that it doesn't matter who you are. You watch that play, and he just happens to be wearing an Eagles jersey. And that's good. I mean, that play's going to live all time.
And it's Kelly Green.
Oh, I love it.
I love it's Kelly Green.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, incredible. Who did he jump over?
That's a great question. I forget.
That's gonna be a good trivia question down the road.
That will be.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question. What are you working on, brother? What do you got? What do you got cooking?
The Eagles have some media availabilities today, so listen to Vic Fangio talk, and it's Phillies are still kind of to me the thing. I mean, they're the ones that have all the questions, So I'm going to be diving into doing some reporting and research on the trade deadline, try to figure out where they can go. I think the big thing with them is the big question with them is, will they take a chance on any of these young guys, who are really tearing up the minors? Look, we've seen over the last 4 or 5 days that everyone got ahead of themselves with this 10-game winning streak over the 3 worst teams in the majors. I mean, this team has issues, and it's going to be interesting to see what Dombrowski does. Given how close they can be to being a World Series contender, it's going to be interesting to see what he does to try to kind of fortify that. Because look, Schwarber's in his contract year. Harper's not getting any younger. Like you gotta strike while the iron's hot, and it's really hard to see a way where this team can improve. Between now and October without something dramatic and outside the box. So I think that's
Really?
what I'm gonna
That's interesting because I think I'm a little bit more optimistic. Now, obviously, the back end, they need another back end arm, right? Like I think that's the obvious. But other than that, I mean, you think it's imperative that they add another bat?
Well, no, I think that there's kind of what prompted this whole thing was I was watching the Phillies the other day with a buddy of mine, and he started talking about moving Trey Turner to left field. This was after he booted that ball in Milwaukee, and we're arguing, and I'm trying to explain to him why it's a non-starter. They're not going to consider it, yada yada yada. But the point that is worth thinking about is, look, you only get so many chances at this, and you got to do whatever. I'm with you. I think the Phillies, especially if Luzardo can be the guy that he was his first 11 starts, with him and Wheeler, if somebody else steps up in the back of that bullpen, look, they have as good a shot as anybody, because they have the starting pitching, and you got to, at some point, you have to do whatever it takes to maximize, those last few percentiles of odds, and if it's a matter of, look, if Bryson Stott is your best shortstop and you need an upgrade in left field anyway, and, you can find a second baseman who's better than, I'm not saying I don't believe it personally, but those are the kinds of things
I would never you can't switch in season.
No, look, well, first of all, I'll say this. I think I agree with you, but I think that's more a function of the mental makeup of the player in question versus, who says you can't? Like it's people doing beer league softball all the time. Like, go play left field, like Cody Bellinger did it for an entire season with the Dodgers. Trey Turner did it for a season at some point. Like, come on, like I don't buy that. I don't buy the whole Scott Kingery argument that ruined him or anything like that. It's the problem is it will destroy Trey Turner mentally if he can't play shortstop anymore. And yes, that will impact his performance. But I don't think I think there are players out there that do it all the time, and I don't think necessarily that. But
I
look,
see you go second to center, right? You go second to the outfield, but going from all of a sudden you're going to put him at short, like Stott at short. First of all, I don't know that Stott is Larry.
Now keep in mind, I'm with you. I wouldn't do it. I agree with you. You can't do it. It won't be done. I'm just kind of talking theoretically now. Now, the one thing I think is the better argument is that if you can find, at the trade deadline or whatever, a right-handed bat or even a left-handed bat that slots in at first base,
right.
Now if Harper would be willing to move back to left field,
right.
Then that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Because look, I'm with you. I think that they're good enough to compete. I think that you put them in a series and they're healthy. With Luzardo and Wheeler pitching game 1 and 2, and then Sanchez in game 3. Yeah, I think they have as good a chance as anybody because they have better starting pitching than anybody in the National League right now. But the question is, look, we've seen this lineup do the same things it's been doing last year. They haven't. Real Muto is an 8-hole hitter now. He used to be your 5-hole hitter. You haven't replaced that. Rhys Hoskins used to be your 5-hole hitter. He's not here anymore, and you haven't replaced that. And I think that you'd be foolish not to try to at least get this lineup to a point where do anything you can just to maximize your odds going into October. And if that involves calling one of these young guys up and letting them play, maybe that's what it takes. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I personally think that they're going to go through a rough stretch at some point here, given the way the schedule shakes out. And
Right.
I think that's going to be the test. And because I think that'll reframe the narrative for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people will be asking the same questions because, look, we've seen this lineup go into the tank before. And, the Brewers loss was fluky. They probably should have, took 2 out of 3, if not sweep. But
Plus, no Bryce in Milwaukee against Milwaukee too.
right, and no Bryce. But yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be. They still need somebody to step up in that lineup, and it just hasn't happened. I mean, Stott. I love Stott, but guy can't hit a fastball, can't drive a fastball. Bone. They're all kind of the same hitter, the kind of 10% below average. Maybe 20% of the time, and then a hot streak once a season. You need more than that. I don't think it's sustainable to survive only on Schwarber and Harper with a little bit of Turner. I think they need somebody else to step up, and it's just I don't see who's going to do it right now.
My brother, you're the best, man. Give Max a big hug from his uncles over here. All right,
we're reading the Pout Fish today, so
I love it. I love
great
it.
book. It's a banger. Yeah.
That's great. Go enjoy it, buddy. We love you, buddy. Thanks, pal.
All right. See you guys.
He's a great David Murphy. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
Oh, there he is.
Ooh, all white out.
Good morning, man.
Good morning, brain. La brain.
How you guys doing?
All right. Looking forward to getting some sports back, man. You forget, what sucks?
Well, I mean,
when last night was just baseball. Like the NBA, I thought messed up that they should have kept its COVID schedule and played through the summer.
Yeah.
Well, I actually did like that when it was like that because you're right now. This is probably after these playoffs end, more so with the NHL. I'm more interested in the NHL than the NBA. But once it ends, it's kind of like, man, I know it's just such a long grind baseball.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's why they call the dog days of summer, right?
No, but I listen,
Right,
I
really
love
is.
it, but I need there needs to be 2 sports going on at the same time.
Again, it's my least favorite time of the year. Just is
I
because
know,
what
we
you
love
said.
it. You and I have seen
it
that.
is what
We love
is.
it. But you got to have something
Yeah.
else going. Like NBA should.
I do. I'm with you.
Dude,
100%.
you got college softball and baseball. No, it doesn't scratch your
Oh,
itch.
jeez. Oh, man.
No.
Stop it.
Dude, I got to tell you, last night I watched Tennessee. This Liam Doyle, whoa. He
Yeah.
pitched 7th, 8th, 9th, then he hit 98 miles per hour straight for Tennessee pitching.
I like college
He
baseball.
might be a top 3 pick this year.
I should get it. I keep wanting to get into it more.
Mhm.
I just haven't done it.
Was that the Texas Tech game? Did
They
I saw that,
beat
actually.
Wake Forest, I think.
They got
Texas Tech was softball.
Yeah.
or was it
I
softball?
watch it in softball.
Yeah, that
that's
was
what I watched.
softball. They beat
They got
Oklahoma.
eliminated, yeah.
Oklahoma
Yeah.
owned it.
Yeah. This dude had 5 strikeouts and 2 in the
I
third inning.
want to get into the tournament more. That's a time thing, man. Listen, tomorrow we'll do the hockey thing, okay? So tomorrow
Yes.
we'll do a major hockey. Also, I have a request. Tasty Cake Dom wants to go head to head with you. So not only
And eating tasty cakes?
no,
he's got no
Oh.
chance of beating you there. Dude.
in bust outs, in the bust out game where you're going to go against Mike Sealski. Tasty
Yeah.
Dom wants you too. He wants a piece of the brain.
How do I sign up?
Yeah, I'm going to set it up. You're going to be
All
like,
right, I'm in.
You're going to be like, you're the champ. You're like Tyson, right? I'm just going to set up games and fights, right? To see if anybody can beat you.
A modern day Bob Arum and Don King. I like it.
Yeah.
But, I just asked this, is that Tasty Cake Dom, when I win, sends me some Tasty Cakes. Fair request.
Back in the day, he would. He's no longer on the route. He has some health issues. All right.
Oh, no, all good.
So
totally.
He lost his Tasty Cake hookup, but he was used to bring cakes everywhere. It's a shame. He would have had his whole caked out. Yeah.
I love that stuff.
You would love Tasty Cake down.
Yeah. Anytime, man. Again, Andy, that stuff I love doing.
It's just fun. It's the greatest.
Makes me remember all these things. I'm like, oh man, I remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up with it. I'll come up with the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it.
All right, buddy. How'd you guys do last night?
I was 2-1.
I think you had a good night, VG.
2-1.
Yeah. Good job, VG.
I got the tennis one.
I split. Yeah, I split 70 and 60. Both well-deserved splits. Flaherty pitched, I think, a shutout, but didn't come close with Severino versus Joe Ryan. That went well over. Both teams hit the ball way too much. So we got to split worse things. But today we got 4 things, I have to say.
Plus Anthony again. Card, you only got 4? I'm shocked.
Well, all right, I'll give a 5th. I'm going to give a 5th. I'm going to give a 5th.
He's got some of his boys are out there. He's got some strikeouts and first fives coming. I saw sleep.
Yeah. I like it.
All right, man.
All right, get it started.
All right, I'm going to start out. Yeah. I want to start off, though, Andy, with it's funny because I like this on Parks. Again, I don't see anywhere else other than Parks. They have the game combo, right? Where you're like, all right, and it's fun. Again, this will be like an unofficial thing, but you have to pick both right. But you know what? I think I'm going to pick both these right. It has Phillies to win the game and Phillies over 8.5 runs plus $1.80. And I'll get to one of my picks later on why I like this. Actually, multiple picks why I like this. But to me, I think the Phillies are absolutely going to win. And I think there's going to be runs scored. Toronto's actually been playing well. And I do not trust this year Bowden Francis at all.
Bowden
Fun
Francis,
little bet game combo, only on Bet Parks. I like it. I like that game combo.
I love that. It was funny that Phillies are going to destroy St. Francis tonight.
Bryce is back.
Yeah, and
Dude,
again, he's a right-hander who's a gas can. Schwarber goes yard. Plus, there's a lot of home runs at the Rogers Center. So I could see Schwarbomb. I could see a Stott bomb tonight. Yeah. I agree with the brain.
Bombs away.
I'm with you.
I'm gonna hop on this game before you hop on it because you're probably gonna go first 5. But I'm gonna go Reds minus 118. Hunter Green on the mound. Brewers gotta lose at some point. It's gonna be today.
Could be, Anthony. Well, you know what? I'm out, VG. I'll make my first official bet. It's funny. I debated VG between taking under 2.5 runs from Hunter Green and under 2.5 runs from Freddie Peralta. Now, I went with Peralta only because I kind of think it's 50-50 which guy gives up the runs, but much less juice with Freddie Peralta. So I'm going to go with that. Freddie Peralta under 2.5 runs is my first official bet. I like it. He's 9-3 to the under this year, and he doesn't throw any innings, guys. He doesn't throw any innings. He always has a high pitch count, which if I'm doing an under-earned runs bet, I don't want him pitching 7 innings. I want 5 innings and then just being done because he threw too many pitches. Under 2.5 runs, Freddie Peralta. I say he definitely gives up less innings. It's a very impotent Reds lineup. First bet.
All right. I'm going to go Buccos as well today. Skeen's on the mound, but I'm going Buccos over 3.5 runs. The last 5 games, this has hit 4 out of 5, and Lance McCullers a gas can. He had a good game last outing against the A's, but the Buccos are swinging the bats a little better right now.
Did you see that he had a death threat?
Yeah, horrible.
This is awful. Speaking of betting, awful.
And his kid had to ask him why people want to kill them.
Yeah, it was terrible story.
I think it was from they said it was from an overseas gambler. Didn't they say that or something?
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, horrible.
Together, people.
Horrible.
Let's have fun betting.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you one, guys. I think he's pretty good. Tomoki Sugano. pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. He's actually pitched pretty well this year. They signed him from Japan. But one thing he does not do, guys, he doesn't strike anyone out.
No.
I think Massimo would go up there. He may go 0 for 4, but he wouldn't get 3 strikes on him, Anthony, because Massimo would battle away and not strike out against Sugano. Sugano does not K players. He just doesn't. He's 9-2 to
No,
under 4.5
he
strikeouts.
purposely pitches to contact.
He purchased the contact, right? So 5 strikeouts is a pretty big number. I don't think he's going to get 5. He's averaging only 3.2 for the year. To go from 3.2 to 5, big upgrade. That should be 3.5, not 4.5. Give me Sugano under 4.5 strikeouts.
Who are they facing?
Seattle.
Seattle strikes out, but no, I agree with you.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Now, Seattle in team strikeouts does strike out more than the average
Yeah.
team. They're like 25th, I think. But I
agree.
Sugano just
I think you're right.
contact.
I think it's a
just
good
can't
one.
help it.
All right, I'm sticking with Roland Garros. We got a match today at 2 o'clock. It's a big one. Local kid, Tommy Paul, USA, born in Voorhees, 12th ranked, going against number 2, Carlos Alcaraz. He won last year. I'm going to say Tommy Paul. He's faced this guy 6 times. He's won twice. And I'm going to say over 12.5 games for our local kid, Tommy Paul. He might win a set. He might win a set today.
All right.
Now, Alcaraz is tough on that surface, but I'll be rooting for it. I'll be rooting for it.
Wow, great, man. He's a tennis handicapper. Talking.
Listen,
he's
not looked sharp so far. I mean, Tommy Paul, he's a fighter. Might have a stomach and abdomen issue, but he looked good.
Man, when's the last time an American, was it Michael Chang? Like, did something at the French Open? Is that the only time it's in our history?
Again,
Jim
Brandon,
Curry
he's living in the past. This is all about the now and today.
Well, listen,
Paul, he wins a set today. Well, he wins a set today, but he's going to over 12.5 games.
All right.
We will see. All right, I'm pulling for it. All right, I'm going to give you a double bet for the Phillies, which I think is very live. We talked about St. Francis. I'm going to bet Bowden Francis over 4.5 hits. How the Phillies not get 5 hits off this guy? This guy's been arguably the worst pitcher in baseball. I'll take the Phillies to get 5 hits. If I lose, I'll sleep like a newborn baby. And I'm also going to take the Phillies. Now, I debated, guys. I really debated. Do I take them on the 5-inning line or take them in the game line? It's about the same price. And I just couldn't. I kept saying to myself, I had like a vision. I'm like, man, Romano pitched for the Blue Jays. The Phillies are going to be up like 6-3 in the 9th inning or 7-4 or something like that. And Romano's going to come in and I just can't. I don't want to have that vision. So I'm just going to stick with the 5-inning line with the Phillies. Get out of Dodge. Philly will be up after 5 inning. Let's call it 4-1 or 5-2, something like that. But I don't want to have to deal with Romano in the 9th.
All right.
I'm good. I got my 3.
All right. You got one.
And I got my favorite bet of the day. Favorite bet of the day. Said it last time. I said I'm taking the rubber band off, guys. Remember we said Drew Rasmussen versus Pablo Lopez. Again, I don't get how they keep making these totals so high. Rasmussen, 2.33 ERA, 18 straight scoreless innings. I think he's pitching like a true number 1 starter. Going against Tyler Mayo, what's he done? Just has an ERA around 1.5. Hasn't had any games where he hasn't had one bad game all year. I'm taking under 4.5 runs in the 5-inning line. Again, this is just mispriced. There's no way 5 runs scored in this game. Not saying there won't be today, but I feel very comfortable this bet certainly goes at least 5-3.
Like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Not Brian. Great stuff, buddy.
1999. I just checked, was the last time an American won the French Open.
Oh, he didn't say win. Did you say win or just did anything substantial at the Open?
No, but Anthony, I got to ask you. Wait, I see Baldy's up next. You ask him about? Did you ever ask him about Irsay?
I did. Yeah, he was close with he. I did ask him, and he liked Irsay a lot. He was,
okay. I was just.
He
just
talked
curious.
about his music collection, and
it was amazing.
He palled around. Baldy pals around with all the rock stars. So he
smart man.
They all want to hang with him.
Yeah. He seemed like a good dude. All right, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
See you guys
Brain.
tomorrow. Be good.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Be good.
Brain brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app. Let's talk about it. Download it now, right to your phone. It got all the stuff. You got Phillies. What are the Phillies tonight?
Phillies are minus.
The Phillies, minus 130?
Phillies are minus 150.
150 tonight. We talked about Bowden Francis. Brain talked about it. Fightings should rake tonight.
Total's 8.5.
All right, so check out the Fightings tonight. Make that be your play because they're going to hit Bound Francis. Bound Francis stinks. All right, Bobby Bowden Francis. So check it out. St. Francis, they're going to rake them. You got all the stuff like we talked about. So coming up, hockey, Stanley Cup tomorrow, basketball on Thursday.
Tennis.
All right. Yeah, my man with the tennis. Like it. All that stuff. Golf. Right there on the app. And there's always another way to win, like on a casino. Live dealer blackjack. Baldy's a big blackjack man. Live dealer roulette. Live dealer craps. Right there on your phone and all the hot online slots you can get. New customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. You're going to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. Going to be 21 if you have a gambling problem. Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, let's talk about Ashley. Spring's here. Everything's blooming. So are low prices. They're blooming over at Ashley Furniture. So it's a great time to spring into some savings at Ashley Furniture. You save up to 50% off living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and have it all delivered totally free. Plus, you get long-term, no-interest financing. You can save currently on top brand mattresses as well and get free delivery set up in the all-important removal with that. But don't wait. This ain't going to last forever. So spring into savings now at Ashley, South Jersey, and Philadelphia. Financing is with approved credit. Minimum purchase required. Some exclusions may apply, but see a store for complete details in South Jersey and Philadelphia. Hurry over to Ashley Furniture and visit ashleyfurniture.com for more information.
All right, Ashley. Now, the legend. Always great to visit with our man, main man, Baldy.
Baldy, Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Ay, Baldy, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football. Oh, Baldy.
There he is. That should be right there, the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do a cover of Madden,
Yes.
it's Baldy's pinky.
Yeah, let's do it.
You gotta get that.
Like, I don't
handsome
believe in
logo on there.
that pinky is not going to get cursed. No way.
No way.
Like,
Look at it.
that's beyond the curse. Yeah.
How great would that be? Baldy on the cover.
Baldy on the cover. It should have happened already. This is ridiculous that it hasn't.
I know.
You know, it's interesting because, like, a long time ago, I don't remember the year. I would the Xbox had a video game that rivaled Madden's. So they actually hired me to be the voice of Xbox. All right. So the whoever is the Seattle Seahawks play-by-play guy was going to do the play-by-play. I was doing the color. So I signed a 2-year deal, and I went to New York City to these recording studios, and I literally recorded this. Nice pass by McNabb. Nice pass by Jeff Garcia. Nice pass by, Steve McNabb. I did that for 2 straight weeks, like 8 to 10 hours a day. Like, we just recorded every single tagline there was. And then Microsoft got bought out by EA Sports, and it never got made.
Wow.
So,
man.
yeah. So I thought I was going to get major credibility amongst, all 15-year-old, video game players, and never got done. They paid me, but it never got made on Microsoft.
Ah, that's a shame, man, because
Yeah.
you would have been great at that.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally have seen you doing that. What did you do for a big hit? You got any Baldyisms?
Everything was sort of all scripted.
Okay.
I had a little bit, a chance to, like, personalize some things, some players that I liked back then. This is like in the mid 2000s, I guess. So I got a chance to personalize a little bit, but it was pretty, it was pretty scripted.
Yeah, see, that's a mistake. There you go, baby. There it is. I love it. Good job, Frazier. Yeah, if I was designing a game, I would give you freedom.
Yeah, you got to
Like,
have a
the
little
point
improvisation.
is, like, your improv is great because you come up with always good lines. Like, you know what I'll do sometimes? If you're calling a game, I'll watch the game and then turn it and listen to you on Westwood One. Westwood One, yeah, and I'll listen to you. You notice that's why I'll text you. I'm listening to you right now.
Yeah.
I have you on in the house on my iPad, so when I watch the game, I got you there. It's the best.
Yeah, I'll be on like whenever the Eagles are playing on Monday night or Thursday night, like they'll take our games, live in that 1 o'clock window. We're doing a 1 o'clock game, so yeah, it'll be on in Philly from time to time.
Yeah, it's great stuff, man. It really is. All right, before we get to the Madden, I got a little Madden game I want to play with you. Before we get into that, big news in Detroit. Big news. Frank Ragnow. That's a huge blow to what I thought was the second best O-line in the NFL.
I agree. And as soon as I heard the news, he's only 29 years old. He's only played 7 years. And last year, I went and started watching his games last year. He only missed, obviously they lost in the first round of playoffs to Washington. But so he started 18 games for him last year. He missed a grand total of like 45 plays. He played just back basically the whole season. So he was healthy the whole year, and he's retiring. So it caught me off guard. I don't know if the Lions knew this was coming. So I went back and started watching all the plays last year in Detroit of over 40 yards. They were in maybe Saquon, the Eagles had more, I doubt it. You watch the explosive play reel of the Lions and watch how important Frank Ragnow is. Jared Goff, we like Jared Goff. He's an accurate quarterback. He's a pure pocket quarterback. He's not running from anybody. It's not like, Jalen can just get out of harm's way. Like, first of all, Ragnow is over. I know Frank. He's over 6'5". He's got long arms. He's big. He's a big presence in the middle. And he's good in all phases. He's very athletic. He's not as athletic as Kelsey was, but he's athletic. Like all phases. And so they'll probably put Graham Glasgow in center, put the rookie Ratledge in at right guard. They've got a couple backup guys, Colby Sorsdahl probably at guard. But that line took a hit when they lost Frank yesterday.
Yeah, listen, that's a run offense. And even beyond, protecting Goff, what makes them so dangerous are when you got that explosiveness, right? I mean, first of all, that run game was ridiculous. But I don't know how a lot of it was cut up in the middle. Like, that's a big deal.
No, Gibbs a great back. Gibbs a great back.
He's
a 1,500-yard runner. And he didn't even start for most of the year until Montgomery got hurt. But a lot of it starts pressing a hole in the middle, and then he sees the lanes once he, gets into space. But that's a big blow. That's a big blow to that offensive line.
Weren't they having some other issues, too, along that front?
Well, Decker and Sewell will be back. They drafted a kid out of Georgia in the
at the one guard spot, right? Like that's the
Kevin
one.
Zeitler,
the guard spot.
Tennessee. Like, how good is Kevin Zeitler as a guard? I don't pay enough attention to the Lions O-line. I know how big a loss that was.
Zeitler's unreal. Zeitler's unreal. Like, that guy is as strong as an ox. And everywhere he goes, he plays great. And he never misses any games. Like, he's probably in his 14th or 15th year now. Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Detroit, New York Giants have never replaced him. Everywhere he goes, he plays great football. He's so freaking strong, like just naturally strong.
That's a big loss. And they got 2 new coordinators.
Well, I mean, the fact that your interior line like that, 2 big blows is a big deal.
Well, I often said, you lost Ben Johnson, you lose Aaron Glenn. I've always said this going back to my days in Dallas when we lost Ditka and we lost all these assistant coaches. I always thought it was more difficult to replace good coaches than good players.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think Aaron Glenn can be replaced. They gave up 48 points to Buffalo. They gave up 45 to Washington. It wasn't like they were playing great. Now, they lost Hutch. They lost a bunch of guys. But Ben Johnson, I think, is going to be hard to replace. I think that guy's really sharp.
Let's look at the landscape for a second because, I mean, I'm really not trying to look at this thing, through green goggles. But especially with the Ragnow O-line issues of Detroit, like you just said, you got the Eagles here. And then I look around, I go, all right, well, are you to be afraid of after that? You got the Rams. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who you go? Oh my God, who the Eagles have to be afraid of? Like clearly,
Well, I mean, I'm getting in the car tomorrow and driving to Tampa to go see the Bucks. Todd Bowles invited me over there, but I mean, the Bucks have had the Eagles number. Now you can say the Eagles are better now than they were week 4, which is true, but they still have had their number over the last, since Nick took over. So I wouldn't push anything past the Bucks just because if you don't hit and chase Baker, like he's just gonna be your classic gunslinger. And the back is Bucky Irving is a good back. Like he doesn't need a whole lot of space. The kid is an explosive back. The line is really good. Defensively, they give Jalen a lot of problems. They don't fear Jalen Hurts. They feel like they can both blitz him and they can spy him. They feel like their combination of what they have that ability. So I don't think you can overlook Tampa. You can't overlook the team. Like, look, they beat Green Bay in the playoffs, but they were throwing to Bo Melton, Malik Heath. Like anybody could cover those guys. And they dropped you give Green Bay, and they had the Eagles. They gave them a game in Brazil. Like that's a team that got better, I believe. I think they're better in the offensive line, better at receiver. Like you can't overlook some of these teams in a one-game sudden death type game. You just can't.
Yeah, it's curious. I'm curious about Tampa. I love their offense, and Baker showed you that he is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Like. He made some big plays.
Look at this. In the history of the NFL, he's one of only 10 quarterbacks in the NFL history that has thrown for over 40 touchdowns and over 4,500 yards. All right? You honestly, like when you look at that list of those stats, Baker's in that company. That's what he did last year. And that's with, Mike Evans getting hurt, Godwin out for the year, a rookie receiver, Jalen McMillan, a rookie center. Like you give that guy another year with these people, and they just got Ibuka,
I love Bucky Irving, and Bucky Irving will help open up things in the pass game.
Well, he does. I mean, he didn't start the season, but he finished the season. They've drafted. Look, Jason Light came out of Philadelphia with Howie and Joe and all those guys. He's done a great job down there in Tampa. A great job. I mean, they've built a good team. And, Todd Bowles, you can debate Todd Bowles, the head coach. He was always a great defensive coordinator. But I've told Todd this over the last 2 years now. Like, he's got real coaching stability. They've won the division either 4 years or 5 years in a row. They own the NFC South. They'll be the favorites to win it again this year. Now, you can debate the division, that's fine. But, he's lost 4 straight offensive coordinators. And has replaced Zach Robinson, Liam Cohen. He's had to replace all these guys. So that's not easy to do. He's had to do it year after year.
I'm with you. No, but how about defensively? How are they defensively? Because that was part of their weakness.
Well, I'm a little partial. They were weak at corner last year. Josh Hayes is playing corner. He's a sixth, he's probably a practice squad player at best. He's starting at corner in a playoff game, it's just they were so weakened at corner by the injuries. So they've got they drafted 2 corners. We'll see. Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame is a good player. Got hurt last year, but would have been a first-round pick. They need good corners because their identity is they blitz like crazy, and they blitz from everywhere. Could be Antoine Winfield from the safety position. Levante David is just tireless and ageless. They blitz from everywhere. And so you watch some of these games, like the first game they played last year was against Washington. They treated Jaden Daniels like he was left-handed and blind. Like they came after him. Even when they were up 3 scores in the fourth quarter, they were blitzing Jaden Daniels. They never stopped coming after him. They don't believe Jalen Hurts can handle his pressures. So, look, you start your defense from the inside out, and you got Vita Vea, who's an immovable object. All right, Kalijah Cansey, Levante David. You just go down the middle. they're pretty strong down the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got Hassan. We'll see what Hassan does.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know where he's at in his own head. He's not at OTAs. Who knows what he thinks about his contract? But maybe he likes playing there. Maybe he likes it and gives him 17 sacks. Who knows? I mean, he's capable of doing that.
All right. But real quick, what do you hear about Minnesota and the kid?
JJ?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got beat, week 17 or week 18 and then in the playoffs badly. And Sam Darnold didn't play well. But, their Pro Bowl left tackle was out. They just drafted an offensive guard from Ohio State in the first round. Like they just, signed a free agent center, an upgrade. Like they built their offensive line up. Now you got Aaron Jones back there. You got maybe the best receiving core in football. Like, how much does JJ need to really do? Now, you can't hide him, but there's probably going to be some level of growing pains. But he's smart. He's athletic. He wasn't asked to do a lot at Michigan. The coach knows how to coach a quarterback, Kevin O'Connell, and the defense is going to take the ball away. So he's going to give you extra at-bats. They're going to be a good football team.
All right. Yeah. I want to do this. We have all the covers of Madden since the beginning.
Okay. Is it 37 years?
Yeah, I want to go from 2000. All right.
Okay.
I want.
By the way, it's a great Netflix show, The Making of Madden. If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna check
it out.
Because John, you'll see. Because I asked Saquon this yesterday. I said, Saquon, do they put the backward leap in the game? That's him on the cover, right?
Yes.
They did that in studio. And so he said they have it in now. It was in before. They took it out because it never got used. Now it's back in. So the point I'm making is literally John Madden, he fired producers when, like, his own son would play the game. He's got two boys. They'd play the game and it would be 50-46. And he goes, that's not a football game. No score, no NFL game should ever be 50-46. Like, where's the defense at in this game? Like, John was on top of all of this, building this whole brand that he built. Like, he was, you can't, like, it, and you see a lot of it in the making of Madden. So it's very, very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you were down at Eagles yesterday. What else did you glean?
No, I was there last week. I was there.
All right.
Yeah, I just did the interview with Saquon yesterday.
I heard a little soundbite of you, which will help us get even more fired up, gushing over the way the Eagles are practicing right now at OTAs, a Super Bowl champ, where there's no one on the sidelines just standing around, hanging out. Everyone's working on something all the time.
Yeah, he said that it was Friday.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, his own.
But then I did ask Saquon about that, and he said, he's such a, you can't throw a question at Saquon and he can't think on his feet. He goes, winning is not an accident. You don't win a Super Bowl by accident. We know what it takes. It's a great line. And it just came out of him when I asked him about being at OTAs and just watching the spirited practice. I don't see other teams. That's why I want to go see Tampa. I'm going to Miami as soon as I get off with you guys. I just want to see other teams practice. I know it's OTAs. I know it's voluntary, but still, I think it's important. Like building culture is important. How you practice is important.
Well, Kenny Pickett.
And so the one thing Saquon said is this young group of kids, like, they get it. They understand when you step on the field between the white lines, I don't care if it's May or it's June. It's important in how you approach it. And just watching Saquon practice the other day, running routes, I saw him catch a screen at the 25 and go 75 yards with it. Like, he's still practicing explosive plays.
There's a quote going around Kenny Pickett. I don't think it's a shot at the Steelers as much as at the Eagles, where he was like, now I've seen how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
That's a shot. That's a shot. They make no bones about it. That's a shot.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's truth. All right. I'm going to give you a player that was on the cover. You give me the first image that comes to your mind.
All right.
Eddie George.
A beast. 1 yard short of winning a Super Bowl. An absolute beast. Running back shouldn't be that big.
Dante Culpepper.
Culpepper was God. He had that one great year in Minnesota. His career was cut short because of a knee.
Yeah. He also had the little hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marshall Faulk.
Oh my God, the smartest football player I've ever talked to. Like that guy's knowledge of the game is unsurpassed.
Mike Vick.
Oh, everybody wanted to be Vic. I did the Atlanta Falcon preseason games for 5 years in a row, and Vic was the quarterback. I mean, everybody wanted to be Mike Vick. Everybody. In fact, I'll never forget this. I'm doing a game in Atlanta one time. Jim Moore is the coach. So we have a production meeting, and we're on the road, like we're in New Orleans or something. So we're going to talk to Moore. We're going to talk to Vic, whatever. So Mike Vick comes in first, and he's got almost security bringing him in. He doesn't go in to the front door of the hotel. But he shows up. He's in this electric blue suit. And I said, that's the best looking suit on a man I've ever seen. Like, you can't look any cleaner or any better. And I immediately went out and bought a suit that emulated that, and I didn't look anything like Mike Vick. That was a sharp dude.
Ray Lewis, 2005.
He was a Terminator. Like, he just ended people's careers. You know, that guy's the level of violence he played the game with was just fun. I saw his first practice ever. So it was an OTA. He got, he was drafted in Baltimore, the first draft of Baltimore. It was Jonathan Ogden, the second pick, and the 24th pick was Ray. And I drove down the turnpike to Baltimore's first practice, minicamp. And I saw Ray Lewis in a half shirt running around. He probably weighed 220. And I just said, I hadn't seen a linebacker move like this before.
Yeah. 2006. Why they pick McNabb in 06? Because he was coming off the injury, the TO mess. So Donovan.
So was that they're coming off the Super Bowl loss?
So no, they're coming off of the injury in 05. So 04, they're at the Super Bowl. 05, he gets hurt. Remember? It's the T.O. mess. He winds up getting hurt. Yeah. And then 06 is McNabb.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
They talk about a curse. They put the curse guy on the cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
07, Sean Alexander.
Sean had Sean had the 400 touch curse. The year before he led the league in rushing. He had 400 touches, and he was never good again. There wasn't a curse. The 400 carry season just killed him.
Yeah. 08, Vince Young. What?
He was. I probably don't need to say this, but he was the worst practice player I ever saw. You go to Tennessee and you watch a guy that didn't have an ounce of fundamentals and didn't look like he was interested in learning any fundamentals. Like the ball could end up 20 yards out of bounds, whatever receiver he might have been throwing to, and it didn't seem like it bothered him at all.
Man, he was so good at Texas. So good at Texas. Wow.
Yeah, he was.
09. Why did they wait so long? 09, Favre.
Wow. He didn't go on until 09?
Yeah.
I mean, that's after his MVP years.
Right.
Way after. Oh, no. Was he coming off the Jets season?
He's coming
in 09?
He's in the Jets
08,
jersey.
he was with the Jets.
He's in the Jets jersey.
He's in the Jets jersey, yeah.
Yeah. 09, he was with the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the very end.
But missing his weenie being out.
That's a weenie.
He could, when in 09, though, he could still throw a ball.
I know, but I needed something to say.
Well, he could still, in 09, he could still throw the ball through a car wash and it wouldn't get wet.
Yeah.
Like the arm was still the arm.
Yep. Palomalu and Larry Fitz. Troy and Larry Fitz. That's a great cover.
They were co-covers?
Yep, 2010.
I've said this to Troy before. Like, if I went and did highlights of Troy Polamalu right now, they would kick me off the NFL Network for, like, basically procuring violence Like, that's one of the most violent players of all time. And he's the softest spoken individual you ever meet. You talk about like Dawkins, through the switch. Like, nobody threw a switch like Troy Polamalu.
He's the greatest. 2011, Drew Brees.
Cool Brees, man. I mean, he was something else. Like, just go look at the stats of Drew Brees. How many 5,000-yard seasons he had.
Yeah.
His accuracy level. Like, he's almost, in some ways, because he really didn't have much of a career with the Chargers, so it really started with Sean Payton in 06. But I don't know if any quarterback had a longer stretch of greatness than Drew Brees from 06 to when he retired. Like, it's a solid 13 or 14 years where it was just consistently great and no injuries, like unbelievable, like level of play. I mean, you can look at Aaron Rodgers or Favre or Manning, but I don't know that any of those guys had a longer stretch than Drew Brees.
Yeah, you're spot on. Now, this is a
Brady,
weird
I guess
one.
Brady for sure, but he did have the injury.
In 2012, Peyton Hillis.
Oh, yeah. He had one great year in Cleveland. One great year. And then he just got beat up. But the year he had in 11 with Cleveland, he was great. Like, I do remember that one year that he had.
That's crazy. 2013, Megatron.
Yeah. Wow. I remember Calvin, he came to play against the Eagles at the Link one year. He went up to catch a football that day. Like, he might have taken it right off the top of a goalpost. It was so freaking high. Like, I don't know. Like, he legitimately could have, in the 17-game schedule, the way the league is right now, he could be catching 2,000 yards worth of footballs in any given year right now. If he was with Jared Goff right now, he'd be putting up 2,000 yards of offense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How about 2014, AP?
Yeah, well, Adrian was, like, his handshake was legendary. But was that the year that he came back off the injury?
Yes.
Yeah, came back from the ACL and led the league in rushing. The MVP. He was the MVP.
Yeah.
In fact, that year, he was also, they have that poll every year, the top 100 players.
Yes.
Okay, so he was number one, all right, that year. And I did that show quite a bit. So I did the final 10 players. It was in our studio at NFL Network in Culver City. So I'm getting ready for the show, and we know that Adrian is going to be live in the show. So we have a green room, right? Like most studios. So I go in the green room, and Adrian is sitting there. Now, there's no producer working with him. He doesn't know anything about what he's doing. Nobody said a word to him. He doesn't have a bunch of handlers, an agent. It's Adrian Peterson sitting by himself in a green room, and he's the league's best player. I went in there and I'm like, Adrian, anybody talking to you? He goes, nah, Baldy. He's from Palestine, Texas. Yeah. He's got a, Texas draw. Nah, ain't nobody said nothing to me, Baldy. I'm like, do you know what you're doing here? He goes, not really. I go, all right, come here. So I'd walk him out the studio. I'm like, we're going to sit you down. We're going to show you some game. Like, I had to prep him for the show. But he was great though.
You know what's one note? Interestingly, Brady not until 2018. All those years, the guy's the face of the league. He doesn't grace the cover of Madden until 2018.
Well, I just wonder, like I know LaDainian Tomlinson turned it down in 07.
Yeah.
All right. I wonder if Brady ever turned it down.
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
Why?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
All right, brother. Listen, you're going to go off to the Dolphins camp. I finished yesterday a treatment for a college. I was tasked with writing a treatment about a college football drama.
Okay.
Set modern day.
Yeah.
So I finished it. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, please do.
All right.
Please do. Does it include NIL money?
Oh, yeah. No, the whole thing.
Oh,
It's like I got a whole cast. And,
all right.
And if this show, now we'll see because it never happens. I'm the king of close. But if this thing, the producer's a pretty big deal, right? If this show actually makes it, then I'm going to have you as a recurring character. Playing yourself.
All right. Is this a cameo, or do I have lines?
No. I'm going to make sure that you're going to be a friend of the coach, and the coach is going to do Baldy's breakdowns.
All right. Good. I like it.
And the school is Midland University.
Midland University. Is it in a fictitious city?
It's
or is it somewhere in Alabama?
Farming city in the Midwest. It's like think Nebraska, Iowa, right? It's the heartland because of the farms closing, and economic distress. So
you see who has the biggest NIL budget in college football right now?
Who?
Texas Tech.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
But to your point, out there in West Texas, oil fields in West Texas, oil farming, corn.
I got a region. A university region comes from oil money.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll like it. I think you'll like the show.
All right.
I'll send it to you.
Just email it to me because I'll print it and read it.
All right. Sounds good, brother.
All right.
All right,
buddy.
Here he is, the great Baldy.
Baldy.
Hey, let's take care of some business. And we got a treat for you. I love the NHL hockey show. I was talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we talk about basketball. Basketball is awesome. It's leaving. It's going to ESPN, right? Big deal yesterday as they sign off 2 days ago. And it's a big deal. I love the NHL show on TNT. Chris Jastrzembski is the producer, local guy. We're going to talk to Chris about the show.
No LaSalle High guy.
Yeah. I love the show. It's well done. So well done. The personalities are great. I'm a huge Bizanet fan.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's the coolest.
Yeah.
All right. And then, of course, Bush is the greatest. All right. But, Henrik Lundqvist is cool. They got Rick Bones on, the coach, who's fantastic. Anson Carter.
I like Anson Carter.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So we'll talk to Chris coming up. But first, let's talk about Rothman. Yes, we're talking about being in motion all the time, right? Keeping your body going like Baldy. There's very few bionic men. All right? We've all been there trying to push through that injury, nagging pain. It just doesn't get any better. That's why we go to Rothman, right? Andrew goes to Rothman for his neck. You go to Rothman for your neck.
Yep.
I went to Rothman for my Achilles tendon. So whether it's running, golfing, playing with the kids, Rothman's experts specialize in treating all types of musculoskeletal issues. Their focus is on high-quality, compassionate care that will have you feeling better and back to doing what you love. All right? That's the key. Rothman's 180-plus fellowship-trained physicians specialize in specific areas of the body and a multitude of orthopedic services, including hip, knee, spine, shoulder, elbow, foot and ankle, hand and wrist, sports medicine, physical medicine, rehabilitation, orthopedic oncology, trauma, and fracture care. Come on.
They do it all.
All right.
They do it well.
They do it all. This year, Rothman consistently performs among the highest volume of hip, knee, shoulder, ankle replacements in the country. Over 60,000. All right? I'm telling you, it's not just the volume. 250,000 of new patients and consults that Rothman is most proud of. It's their commitment to improving each of those patients' lives through their service and care. All right? Check it out. RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY. All right?
Yep.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Why go anywhere else?
All right. Now let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. All right? How great is that?
I like
Parks Casino. This is how you win. This
got
is
a big
all,
feel to it. Feels like a big
all
casino
the
up there.
epics. All right? All the epic,
Tons of
artists and great nights you can have in the
Comedians.
summer. All right?
Drinking beers outside.
It's fantastic, man. It's amazing. All right, let's talk about it. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Coming up at the Excite Center, Kansas.
Carry on your wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Okay, that's very good. All right, very good, very good.
Oh, that's a great guitar jam.
Yeah, that's a good jam. I don't need to go to the show now after that.
I would definitely go to the show. It's much better.
Just announced comedian Hannah Berner headlines Parks Casino September 19th. Comedian Joey Diaz August 23rd. Country artist Ashley McBride May 30th.
I never wanted to be that girl.
It's June 3rd.
You are
think
that
it
girl.
happened like 3 days ago.
Oh my God.
I knew it. Like, when we heard it yesterday, I was like, man, I swore it had happened already.
No, June 3rd's today.
No,
Huh?
May 30th.
Oh, May 30th.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God. Yes. June 6th coming up.
Yeah.
Here you go. Taj Mahal, Ken Mo.
Woke up this morning, mama, I had them Statesboro blues.
I got to tell Baldini to update the read. July 3rd, Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old flat top.
He come rolling up slowly.
September 6th, reggae band and pop band UB40.
Red wine.
September 26th, Russell Peters, a great comedian, Australian Pink Floyd, September 20th.
Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can hear me.
November 15th, Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers, a night of blues and old-time rock and roll.
Bill Murray.
Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show, Liberty Gastro Pub and Beer Garden, Parksville Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's, ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You got to be 21, gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, I'm excited for our next guest, all right?
Yeah.
I
I
can't,
love local guys who go on to good things nationally.
And the show is just fabulous. I mean, it's such a great show.
A little Gretzky.
Legends.
Yeah.
Let's welcome Chris Jastrzembski, TNT producer of that, and LaSalle man, a 4-for-4 guy. Look at that.
Got a rep.
LaSalle guys.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, cuz? What up, VG?
What's up, Chris?
I wanted VG to just keep singing that entire time. We
Nah.
should just do a VG jukebox the entire time instead of me.
Chris, let me just tell you, the show that you guys put on, that you're the producer of, is fab. I'm a fan of it. Like, before we even thought about having you on, I talked about how great that show is. I'm a huge fan of that show.
I appreciate it.
I got to give you an applause. Local guy, done well, man. You killed it.
That's what happens. You were bragging. You were talking about it to Pat, who's a LaSalle guy, and he's like, "Oh, it's one of us is doing it."
Yeah. Dude, great job.
Thank you. It takes a village to build what we have at TNT, and I play a small part of it. I'm actually the research producer. We actually have a producer, Sean, who does a great job. Morgan's our director. You know, Liam, Biz, Ace, Doc, who was there, Hank, Gretz. It's a family there, and I just love being able to work with that crew and also being able to be the Philly guy on that show. And you know, whenever I can, you know, rep Philly, rep the Birds, rep LaSalle, rep whoever.
Rep the Birds. I love it. You got
Go
the
Birds.
accent,
The number of times I have said the Eagles won the Super Bowl in Atlanta to everyone that isn't an Eagles fan, just to remind them, because people do forget, is at least in the 7 digits right now. And I know people are bugging me about it, but I really don't care.
Oh, dude, I
gotta deal
love
with
you.
it.
I freaking love you. How great is that a Philly kid calls Wayne Gretzky
Gretz.
Gretz.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, like you and the great one are like this.
He is awesome, and Ty Gretzky, he comes in as well, and getting to know him and Tristan and Janet, and we were in Chicago when they had the Gretzky's Basement pop-up shop, and that place was awesome, and getting to know not only Wayno but also Ty and the family there too. It's a family, and they're all great people. There's no there's no really egos at TNT, whether it's on the hockey side or the NBA side or the baseball side or the college football side with Lefko, another Philly guy, by the way, who's up in Roland Garros in France, who's doing an unreal job doing that for the first time.
I gotta tell you,
it really,
you're
it truly is a family.
You're right, and I think about it. I love the baseball show, right? I talk to A-Rod all the time. I mean, all their baseball stuff.
They do great playoffs in the baseball playoffs.
Great playoffs, fun games. You know, the fun thing about it. But I'm a huge like your show, dude. I mean, Biz. Is he as much fun in person? He's got to be. He had the mustache.
He is.
Comes out. Business Bats is the greatest.
I actually help him and one of his buddies with the busy bets, and usually when it wins, he gets all the praise, and when it loses, it's all on me. But we won it 11 times. It's 10 more than Chuck's same game Barclays, which only won once, which is the last time in the regular season he did it. So credit to me, credit to him too. But he is not only, a lot of people know him from Chicklets and his shenanigans on the TNT show and all that. But when you're watching the games, he is as detailed as possible, and he wants specific camera angles. He wants to highlight so many of these guys. He is actually an analyst instead of when you think of Biz, he's just this goofy guy who, played 2 playoff games and got kicked out of one because he never had his jersey tucked in. And you don't think he has the credibility, but him breaking down film and him working with Ace and him working with Bonus and him working with Hank and Todd. When Todd and Biz were in, it was awesome just to watch them interact. And Todd's got the hockey knowledge, and Biz does too, but Biz is very, very underrated, and hopefully it's not underrated anymore when people watch your show. Him breaking down footage from the game.
Oh, I love it. I mean, you don't get anything better than between periods. Like, you want to talk about primer. It's awesome. I mean, I don't think I missed a playoff. He'll tell you. I watch every playoff game. I like from the beginning. It's been just great stuff. I love when Talk was on, and obviously here and at that point it hadn't come out. And I kept texting, "You look good, dude. Announce you're going to be the Flyers coach." He was great. Like, all your guests that come in are fun. Lundqvist, I got to tell you, it doesn't get cooler than Lundqvist. Like, he's as cool as they come.
I wish I could look like him, or at least a tenth of him. I mean, that guy's a man rocket. He comes in, he's got corduroy suits, he's got Italian tail suits. He is a ZZ Top sharp dressed man. He is a sharp dressed man. He is, especially with breaking down goaltending. Yeah, he is incredible at that. Like, anytime he breaks down goaltending, like, everyone loves Hank. Also because he's a handsome guy, which helps too. Speaking of the Flyers, Noah Cates and the Flyers signed a 4-year, $4 million extension just now, right before we just came on. So great news to your listeners.
Breaking news.
Who needs Charlie O'Connor when you have me? Just kidding. Charlie's great.
Oh man, Charlie taking shrapnel.
Don't worry, I got fired by Marchand early in the postseason, so I'm still looking for a new job. So if anyone has any openings, let me know. That rat.
Oh my God!
Hey, can I ask, when you're sitting with all these guys, what are their thoughts on Michkov? Do they talk about Michkov? What do they think about him?
They like him. I think the coaching staff, the previous coaching staff, it was tough for a guy to, showcase his skill. I think Talk will 100% let him be who he wants to be. And we saw that later in the season when Shaw came in, and, Michkov was a much different player, a much fun player to watch. Obviously, those guys have to play 2 ways, and it'll be slower for Michkov to play defense than maybe others. But he is a flashy guy. Even talking to Bush from time to time too, we're hoping that this upcoming season will be a big step forward for Michkov, especially on the offensive front.
Dude, I think
he plays wing for the most part, so he's not going to be playing two ways for the most part. If he's playing wing, let him just play offense and let the guy cook.
No, you're exactly right. And how many times they hit that outlet, like where he can go make something happen. You got to play that way. That's who he is. And I love him too because he's tough. He's a Russian kid, so he's got that innate toughness. He's not going to get beaten down by the town. And listen, Jonesy and Danny are sharp. They're going to build this thing correctly.
I agree. I'm excited I wish we got a higher draft pick, but top 6 will be fine. I'm excited for what's to come for free agency. I don't know if maybe this year will be the year that maybe the team makes a push to the playoffs. Maybe it might be another year, but I think what the process and what Danny's doing, what Jonesy, a former TNT guy, by the way, is doing, I think they're doing it the right way. I'm done with the quick retool and get up to the first round and just sneak in the playoffs. Like, get back to where you're supposed to be. Get back to the top of the East. Get back to the Stanley Cup final. I was a young boy in 2010, and I cried myself to sleep when Patrick Kane scored that fluke goal. My dad was in high school back in '75. We won the Cup final, and one of the biggest things I want to see, at least like with me and my dad, is to see one more Cup with me and him. We had season tickets from the end of the lockout till I graduated college. 107, row 12, seats 9 and 10.
Wow.
We always went to at least a game a month, and that's kind of how, getting to where I'm at right now, that's how I kind of built my love for, hockey and the Flyers. And, when I was in elementary school, I had a mastery project at my elementary school, and it was all on the history of the Flyers. And we ended up working with the team and getting Bob the Hound Kelly in, putting an entire assembly for my entire 5th grade class. And, it really started to really sink in that hockey's my love, and doing this for a living at TNT is just a blessing.
How did you get started with TNT, and was hockey your way in?
Yeah, so I would say I would go back to high school at LaSalle College High School. I would arguably say it's the greatest high school that's still open. Sorry, VG. Sorry, North Catholic.
Yeah, your dad sounds great. What high school did your dad go to?
He went to North Catholic
That's
as
right.
well. My mom went to McDevitt. They're both closed, so I'm the last one standing. So I actually did a course at KYW News Radio. Did a news studies course there. Won an internship there my senior year of high school. So 17, I was starting to really learn the biz. Going down to Hamilton Street, the broadcast center there. Went to Syracuse. Did a few internships, Philly Mag with Birds 24/7 with Tim McManus before he left for ESPN. Went to ESPN after I graduated. Was a production assistant there for about 3 years, doing more like video stuff. I was on working on the Scott Van Pelt show for a year and a half, 2 years during COVID. So working with him and Stanford Steve, they're great guys to be around. And I was essentially Scott's hockey guy. Any highlights, any interviews they had with Bettman or Emily Kaplan, who's great, and she's on the road in Edmonton. And then I wanted to do hockey mainly full time, and I found an opportunity as a researcher at TNT, and never had been outside of the Northeast in my life. And I thought this was a nice new opportunity for me and a new property. And I love working on things that start from the ground up. And that being the inaugural season for the NHL and TNT, it's special than, I would say like joining a show like Sports Center or any other show that's been around for a while. Like being able to lay the groundwork and see it grow. And, this is year 4, and seeing all the people that have worked on this show and continuing to grow, this property, it has been great. So that's kind of my whole path.
We are super proud of you. We are also in overtime. That's right, overtime. Give him the hockey horn. Come on, man.
Good horn. Oh, that's even better.
I love it. I love it.
That's so much better.
Real quick, because you brought up, we've talked about Bush. I gotta tell you, first of all, to do what he does behind the glass is unbelievable. He's such an elite broadcaster. He's so good. Like
he's great.
Bush is unbelievable. We've had a lot of great broadcasters in Philadelphia history. Bush is elite.
Oh, he's the fact that we went from Jonesy to Bush on the local, regional, and even TNT it's a seamless transition. Bush is a great personality. He's a funny guy too when you get to know him. And he's actually, I think he's got a house down the shore that I went to. We got lunch in Stone Harbor at Yvette's nice little sandwich shop. Just talk shop for a little bit. And he's a guy that's knowing that I'm a Flyers guy. It also helped just to help that introduction a little bit too. So he's great. Edso's awesome. Kenny Albert's a pro's pro. The guy could be doing baseball 2 days from now and then doing game 2 of the Cup final, and he's all over the place. It's funny because even me, when I'm 6 or 7 and watching the Eagles playing the Giants on the 1 o'clock slate, and it's Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Yeah,
it's awesome. And then just going from watching him when I'm younger to now working with him and calling him a colleague is, man, it's something. Even Hank too. I'll say this, I think I was more starstruck when I saw Hank than Gretz, just because of the fact that I watched Hank play.
Oh my God.
And I hated Hank.
Yeah.
I was at the Winter Classic when he stopped Briere, and I hated that guy. He's also handsome, so I also hate him more because he's more handsomer than I am. But then when we got him in I think November when he just retired, I'm like, oh my God. He was a former member of my my fantasy hockey team, the Not So Mighty Ducks of the Wiley Cup, after LaSalle hockey head coach Wiley Milbrunner, and now I'm working with him. It's something, and it's special. And I don't know how much time we got, but I know I was in the arena last night, and 2 years ago I was in Vegas, and just seeing the arena for the Cup final, 2 years ago, it was tough to hold back the emotion, because knowing that I was there for the Cup final, even yesterday too, just being inside the building and knowing what we were doing and knowing what I was doing and knowing where I came from, just a lot of sense of pride just to come know where I'm from. And for me too, I'm not only representing myself and my family and North Catholic and I guess McDavid and LaSalle, but also people that know me, you guys as well, my high school buddies, my colleagues at TNT, my colleagues at ESPN, and Syracuse colleagues. And the thing I want to just have people know, it's hey, do you know this Chris Jazz guy? It's yeah, this guy's a great guy. He's a funny, goofy guy, but he's a hard worker and he's a great guy. And for me to just being able to represent a little bit of the city that I'm from and I'm proud to be from on a national broadcast is special to me. And I don't know if there's any young guys out there that are from Philly or LaSalle, but find me on socials, and I would love to help you out in some sense, in some way.
I love it. I love it. So I cannot wait for tomorrow night. How do you see this final? I mean, you got McJesus, right? Because I'm rooting oil. We're both rooting oil over Florida. How do you see
So you guys are loyal to the oil.
Yes.
Loyal to the oil, I say.
Yes.
There you go. So this went 7 last year. It could have gone 4. It could have gone 5. It could have gone 6. But Florida decided to flirt with disaster. They had a 3-0 lead. They choked it. They won in 7. I could see going 7. It's not going to be a 3-0 choke job like Florida did, although I don't think you would call it a choke job if they won the series. But I could see right now I have Edmonton in 6. I'm also selfishly hoping for 6 because the Phillies play in Miami before Game 6, and I would personally like to go see the Phillies beat up on the Marlins in front of tens of hundreds of people in the Marlins ballpark. But I think the big thing for both teams, I'll start with Florida. Florida has scored on the road this postseason 48 goals. The record for most road goals in the postseason, it's the 93 Kings, which Wayne was on, 49. They have a plus 27 goal differential on the road this postseason. That is an NHL record. Both teams have depth. Florida's got 19 guys that score goals. They've also scored 27 goals within 10 seconds off of turnovers, the most this season. They're more opportunistic than they were last year, where they were just strong overall. Edmonton has a very big hole to fill with Zach Hyman out. Yeah. He got injured in Game 5 against Dallas, or Game 4 against Dallas, or one of those games against broke his wrist. Corey Perry, who's 40 years old.
He's amazing. What a story.
The Worm. What a story. 2 goals when he was out. That guy is going to be a big factor. Jeff Skinner. Yeah. Speaking of stories, Jeff Skinner played over 1,070 regular season games before making his first trip to the postseason. He played Game 1, the postseason opener against LA. Got scratched the rest of the way as a healthy scratch until Game 5 against Dallas. Scored a goal. He's going to have to play a big role in this Oiler team. And Corey Perry, he's 40. He's played around 231 career postseason games, tied for the 6th most in NHL history. If he plays 5 more, which I think he will if this goes 6, he'll have played the most postseason games by a forward in NHL history, passing Mark Messier.
Wow.
And it'll be 3rd most all time. Chelios and Lidstrom have played more. Goaltending is great. You got Flyers legend Sergei Bobrovsky in goal, who's hot. He's been unreal. Stuart Skinner, since he came back for an injured Calvin Pickard in the Vegas series, has been solid. He's not an elite goalie, but he does the job for Edmonton. And they got a solid defenseman back in Matthias Ekholm, number 14, who, he will shore up that defense. He'll play all 3 strengths, power play, 5-on-5, and penalty kill. He is as solid as he gets.
I'll tell you, what really impressed me is how Edmonton closed out Dallas in really 3 of those games by their forecheck. Like, they smothered them in 3 of those third periods. Even in Game 6, where Dallas it was crazy, right? It's 3-0, and then Dallas fights, right? It's 3-2, 3-1, then it's 3-2. They make it 4-2, and then it's 4-3, and then they get the goal, Perry, and then they just clamp down the last 14 minutes of that game, and were able to forecheck and play in Dallas's zone. Like, Dallas is a good team, and they shut down Rantanen.
They are. And Connor McDavid, if you ask him if they can play defense, he will give you the death stare, because they can play defense.
Yeah.
They can play defense for real. They are one of the better teams on 5-on-5. On offense, it's them and Florida that have scored the most goals at 5-on-5 this postseason. But a goals against, Edmonton has allowed 26, and Florida's allowed 28. So overall, they are very solid. They're much more solid on 5-on-5, and it's been a lot better since that LA series when they went down 0-2 to start, and even 3-2 in that Game 3 before Hiller called that timeout to challenge it, and that 3-3 goal, and it just went downhill from there. But Edmonton can play defense, and getting Ekholm back is big for them. And Bouchard's an offensive defenseman. I'm excited to see Game 1, because that mega church, as Biz calls it, and the Chicklets guys call it, with McJesus there, when there's a power play, that arena will be loud. That atmosphere will be loud. The Moss Pit outside of Rogers Place is going to be amazing. And also a very, very underrated part of Edmonton is the 50-50. They know they're 50-50s. It will probably be around $5 million before puck drop.
It's crazy. Ain't that wild? It's wild. Absolutely wild.
So I already have at least $300 like just put away just for the 50-50.
Smart man. No, I'm sorry. Just to follow up on the Florida thing, because they're nasty, man. Kachuk, I love Kachuk. I mean, what's more, again, I'm hoping his brother's a flyer, right? Like, but Rodriguez, like they've gotten contributions up and down. Bennett, like they're nasty, dude. Like, as much as I hate that they're Florida, right? That team itself is great. It's just a great team.
They have 19 guys that scored a goal this postseason. And I think there's when I was looking at some stats, they had 10 guys with, multiple points, or 10 guys with 10 plus points at I think conference finals. And that was the most at that point in NHL history. And you're comparing some of their depth with the Islanders of the 80s, the 81 Islanders specifically. So when you're talking about that, and this is the team that's gone to the Cup final for their third straight year, which the Islanders did it for 4 straight years, or five straight years, they won 4 of them. That's something special. And guys like Jesper Boquist, who came in for Rodriguez in the Toronto series, top line, scores a goal. Game 3 against Carolina, comes in for Sam Reinhart, scores a goal. Brad Marchand, Eetu Luostalainen, Anton Lundell, guys that maybe people don't even know how to spell Luostalainen or like how many vowels.
Luostalainen and Lundell.
Luostalainen.
It's amazing. Those two had big games against Carolina. I mean, like, amazing.
They were big in that Game 7 against Toronto too.
Yeah.
But that's your third line. That's your third line. When you have Brad Marchand on your third line, my goodness. As much as I hate the guy because he fired me allegedly, like that is a solid third line to have. And even your fourth line, Game 3 against Toronto in that second round, Maurice swapped his entire fourth line. It was Mackie Samoskevich, Nico Sturm, and I think Boquist for AJ Greer, Noshek, and Gadjevich. And that fourth line has been effective ever since. How many teams have the ability to change an entire line with another line and have them be effective? There's not a lot. Dallas had a lot of depth, and they just didn't show out against Edmonton. Duchesne was quiet. Jamie Benn is a shell of himself. Tyler Seguin was fine. Mikko Rantanen was MIA for most of that after his explosive start.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds like there might be a mutiny going on up there too with the exit interviews.
No, that's how DeBoer treated that Game 5 and pulling Ottinger when it really, and apparently Ottinger was battling a respiratory illness. I think that's what DeBoer was said after the day after the game. So, but still, like, you don't really treat one of the best goalies in the league, and probably a guy that's going to be Team USA starter come the Olympics in 26. That's not the way to do it, I don't think. And I know he has a history of not being great with goaltenders. Marc-Andre Fleury saga in Vegas, Robin Leonard, and then his agent Alan Roy with the little art sketch of the sword going through Fleury's chest with the sword saying DeBoer on the blade. That was a fun time in hockey Twitter 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm curious what maybe Dallas does. I think DeBoer stays at least next year, and they reevaluate then. But three straight exits in the conference finals is tough.
Chris, can I just ask you, like, in the course, like on a game day like today, what's a day in your world like?
So, we'll have a production meeting probably early in the morning tomorrow. I'll probably work on some game notes later today, tonight, in the morning. Funny enough, Jackie Redmond just asked me about some underlying metrics for Seth Jones and Florida stuff, so I'll probably get that during the day today. We'll go to the arena. We'll print out my game notes. I like to get there early. Early bird gets the worm. Just get my surroundings all set and know where I'm at in the studio or the set, in this case in Edmonton. We'll talk to the producer. We'll check graphics with our graphics producer. We'll make sure any video that needs to be looked at is good. And then I'll talk to Liam, talk to the guys if they want any tapes as well, and I'll relay that to our producer as well. We'll get what we need. And then, a couple hours before then, maybe get a little quick bite to eat, get on set. We'll do a pregame show. During the game, I'll be with the guys, kind of giving Liam some nuggets or helping out with any tape that the guys would want. So they want to look at like a back check or a forward check or a Florida penalty kill. I'll have the video there on my laptop they can look at, and we'll build a tape if we need to. And then our mission hits, we'll do that, and then post-game hits, and then we'll go and we're done, and then we'll do it again in 2 more days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who you like game 1?
I like Florida. I think it'll be a 1-goal game. I think Edmonton will score first, but I think Florida wins by a goal.
Be interesting.
I don't love that, but all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't love that. I said it right now, and I don't love it either. I just don't know, but I'm sticking with what I'm saying.
No,
I gotta have some pride.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's going to be fun, man. I cannot wait. Chris, what a treat. You are awesome. You rep this city so well. You're a great dude. Very proud of you. And we'll be watching, man. We love it.
I appreciate you guys. And I hope I see some of you guys down in Seattle in the summer. That's where I call home for the summer. OD, dead dog, the Wawa after the dead dog.
Perfect.
The Point, Or House. Can't wait for some LeConte music. I mean, the Princeton. Maybe not the Princeton. Avalanche downhill. But I'll see how, man.
We got to get a beer. I got to get a beer with you.
Absolutely.
Get all of our info.
Maybe in Stone Harbor. We'll see.
Yeah, let's get a beer, man. Let's get a beer. It'll be fun. Look,
absolutely.
I definitely want to have beers with you. Yeah. You're awesome. Dude, God bless you, man. Keep it up. All right? Safe travels.
God bless you, cuz.
See you, brother. See you,
Thanks, cuz. Thanks, VG. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Fantastic. Chris Jazz. Fantastic, dude. Great stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yep.
I love that show. I told you I was a fan of it, and you reached out and got him. He's fantastic. All right, boy. My fellas, we got it back in the day.
Yeah, if you got time, we got it.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day.
Simple, quick, easy. June 3rd, 3 years ago, Bryson Stott's first home run of his career.
Really?
Don't get too excited.
That was your back in the day?
It's June 3rd. All that stuff happens on June 3rd.
Come on. It's a Stanley Cup Finals.
That's tomorrow.
Okay, well, you still could have done something looking into it.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Come on, bro. You better have some finals nugs.
And a high fly ball to deep right field. Ward is going back toward the scoreboard. Gone!
Oh, it's a great team that calls
Major League home run for Bryson Stott. It's a towering 3.
Control your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Fighting's tonight, though. Fightings are going to rock.
Crooked number?
Yes. 11 tonight.
Oh, that's straight number.
All
I
right.
like double straights. Yeah.
They're going to score 11.
All right.
11 runs tonight.
I got to see what over a 10.5 pays.
All right. Here you go. By themselves, they score 11.
Yeah,
Sanchez,
yeah.
big night, the whole thing. Everybody, great stuff. Great job, Frazier. Have a great night. We love you. See you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.